Alright kids, so it's TurboDoug tutorial time, and yes, I have had to restart this video multiple times because that is really fucking hard to say. But there's going to be a lot of different videos we'll do about TurboDoug paints. There's a lot to talk about. Right now, today, we are going to talk about something called their Zenishift paints. So their Zenishift paints are really interesting and super cool because they go over different colors over different base coats. And that's why this guy is here. So for this one, the paint that I use, which is called Fey Wilds, it goes over this green over black, and it goes over this pink over white. And you know, it's hard to get a really great shot of what that pink looks like. It looks much cooler than I can capture right now. So what I did to get this effect was very simple. I dry brushed everything here. So if you look, you kind of have to move it around, that this was all dry brushed white and over black. So that's how these came out like that. That's why I got like that really specific, right? That there you can see that. And the wings were also dry brushed. I'm just going to hit the camera all the time. It's just like there's nothing I could do about it. If there's no space on my desk to have a ring light that's not right in my way. I don't know how other people do this, quite frankly, but like props to you guys. So this I also dry brushed. This is the sort of thing where the space in between the raised parts is really large. So I did have to go back in. I just painted over black. Very simple. Also, this was dry brushed, these pauldrons. And if you are interested, while I'm here with these pieces, these pauldrons are from Wolf King Customs. This head, I got this head from Rocket Fist Customs. So these paints are called Zenishift paints because there is a color shift in them, but they're also named after a specific style of paint application that is called zenithal priming. So this is something that I did. This is zenithal priming, right? So what I did is this whole thing was base coated black. And then from straight up top, I went over and sprayed him white. So the idea is to give you an effect like the sun's hitting it. Now, some of the zenithal paints, the two different colors are very similar. So you have a lighter version of the same tone. I did a terrible job explaining it. Like one of them is purple and pink. So the pink goes over white. So I'm going to use that for this because it will look like light hitting something, right? Because purple and like pink would make sense for the sunlight. And if I didn't explain that well, the difference is one of them is orange and green, right? So like if this was orange and this was green, it wouldn't make a ton of sense. It could look fucking cool, but it wouldn't make a ton of sense if you want it to look natural. There are a ton of different ways that you can prep something for zenithal priming. I almost always dry brush. It's partially because I like dry brushing, but I just chose a bunch of things that I kind of like wasn't using. So here we have chest armor from one of the Savage Crucible figures. Now I have two different Mythic Legions torsos. I heavily dry brushed this, right? So you're going to see a lot of the lighter color. And this one I dry brushed it just to get these lines, because when you dry brush, you get something that looks like armor scuffing. And then I went back in and I painted it black, and then I just kept these, you know, the things that are normally raised white. This is just, this is not a clean paint job at all, but I'm not going to use a shield for anything. I have a billion of these. This is just to show what happens if you hand painted the whole thing. So this and this are actually dry brushed in purple because the light color that would normally go over white is purple. It's a very light purple. I'm going to actually show it to you because I have it here. So this is what the purple looks like, and this is the blue, right? So I kind of messed this up and I dry brushed it too much, so there was a lot of white here, so it was too much and the whole thing was purple. So I just went back over it black, and it's not perfect, but it doesn't matter because once I airbrush this, you won't see that. I just want it to look more blue. So that's just like a really quick way to fix something you messed up, you know, if you use one of these paints. But I want to see this be a little bit darker than this purple, right? Like that purple is a little bit light for me for this head. So for this one, I'm going to use a paint that it looks the same under this lighting, but this is like a darker magenta. I'm going to use something where it would go over normally pink over white. So I'm just going to basically have it painted over pink instead, and just sort of like give a little bit a little bit more oomph to that color. I'm going to oomph it. It's going to sound great. And then same thing to this gun. Then we've got this head sculpt, which I just broke this head sculpt, so I'm using it. You see that? This is a Wolf King Customs sculpt that is sick. I'm really interested to see what it looks like when painted this way. It's just something I had to, toss to the side because I couldn't use it because it's broken. So this is an Animal Warriors of the Kingdom shield that has like really great sculpting. This I think is going to look really, really, really cool. And I didn't even bother to do the back, but it's going to look cool. And this also is a wonderfully sculpted gun. Thing looks fucking sick. So this is going to look really cool. I don't know, like I'm going to see if it looks cool. This is a shoulder pad that I got from One Per Case that I have a plan for this, for the figure I'm going to use it for. And then this wonderful head that it's kind of like me before coffee, guys. So like also magic effect. So this is like Power Rangers. Then we have this is like the Mythic Legion sword that I think a lot of us do have a billion of. I thought it would be cool to see what the runes look like. Obviously this is like really heavily dry brushed. There's one more thing that I did like a zenithal priming on. This was a custom and it just got so messed up. It was like not something I could recover. Whatever, it's been sitting around. Here's a way to put it to use. I'm not even fixing that. So I'm gonna go airbrush these, right? I've never tried hand painting these paints. I'm sure you can. All metallics, I try to airbrush if it's a large surface. That's my method of painting. So airbrush station we go to now. So it turns out that I did not do the best job filming what I was spraying. A sentence that I don't really love how it came out. And also I don't know what you're doing here. That's not where you live. But anyway, let's look at the results. So first we will look at Bubblegum Crisis. It goes pink over white and it goes gold over black. And this is one that I had heavily dry brushed actually in pink. So you can see really what you're left with here. You can see a little bit like there's that gold, right? But for the most part, it's almost like a color shift. This paint in general does a lot of kind of color shifting along with being two colors. It's very confusing, except for when you do it like this. And this actually came out pretty great, pretty clean. That you can see that it is not clean. You can see that it's like a pinkish gold and a goldish pink, right? So, and then there's just the back's all that gold. And then this is one that I had dry brushed, but just white. But you can see here as well, the gold is there and the pink is there, and it's almost hard to tell what you're looking at. But it's cool. I like that. This is just over black, and you can see that there is like a curve will kind of give you a color shift. You can see the color shift is what I should say better with the curve. So, when the light is hitting it from the side, you can see that the gold really does shift to pink, even without any black there. So that's that. Now, unfortunately, really what is or has been probably my favorite of the Zenishift paints is Romeo and Juliet. But I was almost running out, so I couldn't really get a lot painted. This one I dropped. This one I fucking dropped. Great job. So this one I had heavily dry brushed with pink over black. I like this paint when it is done that way. This has been painted so many times. God, there's like no definition left. But you can see this was mostly black, and there's like a violet kind of, right? Like this I didn't get a lot of paint on, but there's like a violet over the black, and then you get like a real pink over. This was like magenta, so it's a little bit darker than this, which was the Zenishift that I had done. And you see the pink is lighter. I don't really like that the pink is this light, but you can kind of see. So the purpose, like I said, of a Zenishift is to get the idea that like the sun is hitting down and then it's lighter, which isn't what all these paints are designed for. It does kind of work here. It's not perfect. From certain angles, it kind of works. But this is also just what it looks like over white. So it's just very pale pink. It's a nice pink. It's very pale. Too pale for me. This is what we were looking at before with the bug. It's Feywilds. Feywilds is super cool. This has a real shift to it. Like, I think that this is going to be one of my new favorite paints. But like, look at that color shift. Do you see that? So I have a light here, right? So the light hitting it from the side is going to create a color shift. And we'll get into that another day. But like, that's nuts because the green is pink and the pink is green. And it's like, what the fuck? Like, you can see all the pink in this. This is just over black. So this is just green. and the pink is what came out over white. Like, this looks great. And this, like, wow. This, I thought, hold, let me focus this in. So this sculpt has a ton of detail, right? I want to say Walt DeMarco, I think, sculpted it. He is very talented. So, and if not, I'm going to edit that out. But this is like, I mean, this is just so cool. I mean, it's just came out great. Sophie Wilds is a really fucking cool paint that I'm definitely going to use a lot more. Another paint that I've actually never made anything with this paint. This is Twin Suns. Now, Twin Suns is green over black and blue over white. So it's weird though, because like the blue is so green. You see that also, it's like a color shift, right? So, and this was all black. It's like kind of like confusing to look at in a way that I really am enjoying. So like that is just the green over black. You know, you see some blue. I don't know. It's very strange. This came out cool though. So this was a hand from one of those dragons. I don't know which one, but see, I just dry brushed it, and all the blue is what was white from the dry brushing. And I mean, it looks good. I'm going to do something with this like soon, like very, very soon. This looks super cool. I'm really into this one. So this is Hemogoblin. This is like this green. Hold on, let me focus it. Just fuck the camera up. Like, so you see this is green, and then I only did one coat of this. I should have done two. I'm sure this orange would be like a little bit lighter, or no, more orangey, whatever. But you can see, like, look at this green and this orange here, and that's just the green. This is fucking beautiful. Like, look at that catching the light. You see that? It's like yellowish, kind of, right? Dude, this is, I've never used this before. Would you stop falling? I may have used it once. I don't know if I used it. I don't know. But look at this magic effect. Like, dude, or whatever, an energy effect. Like, this looks really good for like really shitty dry brushing. And there's a little bit of a shift in there that makes it cool. And then this came out like, I'm going to make something with this paint like stat immediately. But that's not really the best one. This, man, this looks cool. This looks cool. Like these two, fuck you. These two, right? Just dry brushing like some sort of really sort of like dragony, bumpy, reptile-y something else that ends with a Y. They look great. They look fucking great. I love these two. And then we have like the cyberpunk ones. So this is Prism Power. Prism Power is the one that I thought would be my favorite, but I don't like pastels. So this pink is just way too light for my personal taste. I mean, it looks cool. The effect overall is cool. It's just like, it doesn't hit for me. I don't know. The aesthetic just doesn't hit for me. It does, however, I think, work really well dry brushed on a weapon. Let's take a moment and appreciate like Four Horsemen Studios workmanship here, because the sculpting on this is just nuts. But this one I had dry brushed in like magenta, and the pink is a little bit darker. And again, the definition really is so much going on in this gun. It's really cool. But like, I like the way the blue looks here and with the darker pink. And then the most recent one, I believe, that they released is Midnight City. And Midnight City is like their tribute to cyberpunk. So it goes over this blue that's almost like denim, and then this like kind of like violetish purple. It's really, really cool. This, you know, I don't think I got enough white on it. I don't know what happened, but I don't love the way it came out, just because you can't really see, like, it's too light here. So I'm not sure, but this is what I did the Zenithal priming on, like, for real. And this actually, I mean, like, I have to hold it sideways, I guess. This came out great. It came out really good. I did not expect this to come out so good. Just check that. I like don't know how to show it in this view, but do you see that? Like, the sun is hitting, right? You know, this is not a very high ring light, but you see, like, here, you can see, right, how, like, he's standing, and this is where the light would hit, the sun would hit, right? Like, sun, shadow, which is great. But, like, again, this type of painting doesn't really work for figures that you want to pose. And yes, I didn't prime all that shit. Whatever, don't judge me.